We are live. We are live. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here. We're live. Y'all know normally I'm, hey. Nah, we're not doing that today, man. But we're going to lead with positivity today. Welcome to season 2, episode 11 of the Brown and Balanced Show. I'm your humble, gracious host, Josh Davis. Hey, black folks, man, it's been a week. We've had one of them weeks, man. And as my name says, we already know what it is. I'm not even going to mention no names, but like I always start off the show, rest in peace to George Floyd. Still need to arrest them 2 chumps that shot Breonna Taylor. Ahmaud Arbery, we're waiting to see if we're going to get justice for you, brother. Rest in peace to young Dolph, young, aspiring, up and rapper, who was doing major things in Memphis, in the hood, in his neighborhood to help, build his neighborhood up. I read something that, every year on his kids' birthday, his kids they're small on their birthday, man. He basically bought back the hood, and every year on his kid's birthday, he bought them a foreclosed home so they could have something for their future. And that's what I want to lead with. That's what I want to roll with today. I want to roll with positivity instead of worrying about, what we just heard, what just happened. My phone went off. It's been crazy. I'm not really surprised at just what just happened. This is the just them system, not the justice system. And as we were talking in the green room, and one of our guests, man, one of our special guests today, I can't wait for y'all to hear from this brother, said it. White people will not hold white men accountable because at some point, one of them is going to be their turn next. And it is what it is. So we ain't going to spend too much time on that because I want to get to our guests. I want to get to some black excellence. I want to get to some positivity. You know what I mean? I want to do some mental checks, make sure my people are all right with everything we've been dealing with in the last couple of years, but especially in this last week, man. It's been this one hell of a week for the black community and black people. But before we get started with all that, of course, like I said, y'all already know what it is. Campari, follow Campari Community. You know what I mean? On Instagram, jump down, get into their mailing list. You get some cool stuff in the mail. The holidays are here. You know what I mean? So happy holidays to all those out there. The holidays are here. So I'm very sure that our good friends at Campari going to be sending out, some things here and there for everybody. All right. So enough of me. Let's get to our first guest. She's back, y'all. She ain't been on the screen in a minute. She's been traveling around. We hung out in Chicago a couple of weeks ago. She's been moving around the country, healing people and sending energy and love and fixing credit and doing all that. So with no further ado, Miss Mia Love, can you please come on back? What's going on?
What's going on? What's going on?
Yeah, you know what's going on. So, how you feeling today? You know what I mean? All right, let's make sure your mental is all right, considering what we've been dealing with. We get on here, I preach all the time. We got to protect black women. We got to be there for our sisters. We got to be better men for y'all. So how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Obviously, the news that just came down is disappointing, but that's why I always tell everybody in the morning before you start your day, you have to fortify yourself because you are going to get hit with the BS, whether it's at your job, whether it's in the news, whether it's just being out and about and being a person of color in the world, you're going to get hit with the BS. So you have to start your day with just getting yourself together, ground, fortify yourself, meditate, pray, whatever your spiritual practices are or your wellness practices are. You have to do that first because stuff is out there waiting to come and take you and shake you off your game. So
absolutely. So what are we doing today? So you didn't been on this show probably more than me. So you've been on the Instagram channel, but you're always showing love. You teach people about credit. You teach people how to keep themselves together. You've helped me out, keep myself together. We've done energy healing. You discussed that. Like, what are we talking about today? Because I think you had something to say because the holidays are coming. So
right.
What are we discussing today? I'm gonna get out the way and you got the floor.
Okay. So today we are getting ready for the holiday season. And so what I want people to realize is that a lot of times people they go in for Christmas, they go in for New Year's, they go in for Thanksgiving, and you spend a bunch of money that you may or may not have. And even if you do have it, you don't have it allocated for those particular things. So what I want to talk about today is seasonal wellness because these Hallmark holidays are coming up, and whether you celebrate them or not, there's going to be pressure for people to go out and shop and buy things. You know that there are storage containers being held off the coast. The shelves are going to be empty. So now people are going to try to stretch to make sure that you have something to present. So I want to kind of challenge you to flip that and to start giving things that are experiences, start giving things that are grounded in wellness and generational wealth for you and your family. There may be things that you want to purchase for your kids, but think about, like you just said, the individual that just passed would purchase a home for his family and create generational wealth each year on his birthday. So think about ways that you and your family, as you go into the holidays, can talk about the holidays and what your future state looks like. Like, does everybody have life insurance? Because I got to tell you, the GoFundMe's that occur for things that could be taken care of for $10, people spend $10 on recreational things. I'm just going to leave it at that. They spend $10 on that, but they won't put $10 a month aside for a life insurance policy. And then you have to use crowdfunding and things like that. Trust accounts. Your property and assets and things like that should be in a trust. It doesn't cost a lot of money to get a trust. It doesn't cost a lot of money to get a will. Instead of going out and purchasing things for your family, schedule a discovery call with an estate attorney. Those are free, just to sit down and talk about where you're trying to go. Go in with a business banker. Don't be scared to walk into the private client office at Chase Bank. You don't have to have $1 million when you go in, but you have the propensity to get $1 million. And we're all, wanting financial wellness for everybody. So start your holidays with doing stuff like that. Give experiences. You want to plan a trip, as the world opens back up. I noticed that the cruise lines are opening and things like that. If that's what you want to do, or whatever you're planning, don't be afraid to put stuff on layaway. You don't have to run your credit cards up and drop your credit score. I always tell you to make sure that the total balance of your cards is between 10 and 30%. So don't go and max everything out for the holidays, because your credit score is going to tank and then you're going to be sad later. So make payments on things. Always make sure you're making your payments on time. Now, remember, I tell you this at Portland Cocktail Week all the time. This is a time of year that most people will call and skip a payment on their car insurance or their car payments or their mortgage and things like that. If you are with a reputable bank, you are allowed to skip one payment a year. Now, it's not a gift. They drop that payment to the bottom of your loan, but you want to do it before your payment is due. If you do need to skip that during the holidays, this is the time that you call and reach out to the financial institution and let them know that you want to do your one skip payment that you can do per year. But hopefully you're using that money to create an experience, to get a trust, to get life insurance, to get a will, or to get something that you and your family can actually use. And then I'm going to shift to mental health. We just talked a little bit about this, but it's really, really, really important that you protect your mental health and well-being, not just for yourself, but for your family. Like Josh said, I do a lot of healing and meditation and things like that. So what I'm doing right now, and you've heard me do this before, I'm going to do another 7 days of meditation. So if you are interested, even if you don't know how to meditate, you don't have to be a yogi, and you don't have to meditate and meditate for hours on end. You can do a 3 minute, 1 minute, 5 minute, right? Hand positions, mudras, mantras. We can talk about all that, but I'm going to do a 7-day free meditation. So if you go to realfreedommeditation.com, see, there's the super producer, got it right there for you. You go on there, you can sign up. Right. You can sign up for that, and I will give you all the details for you to get enrolled in the 7 days of meditation. It's absolutely free, but these are the things that you can give to your friends and family and loved ones for experiences, as opposed to spending a bunch of money and going broke for one day, going broke for a holiday season, and then figuring out how to get yourself out of that later. Now, if you're already in a situation financially where things don't look the way that you want them to look, and you want to, quote unquote, turn over a new leaf for the holidays, reach out to me and book a free discovery call at realfreedomwithlove.com. It's absolutely free. You can also give this to your friends and family and say, hey, look, here's what I got for you. I got a free discovery call for you. If you want to go deeper, there are all kinds of different levels on there. You can book a mindset strategy session. You can book anything that you like, Reiki, energetic healing. We do distance healing and things like that. All that can be found right there. And then let's talk about physical health, because we want you to have 360 degrees of health: financial health, mental health, and physical health. When you have your big holiday meal, weather permitting, even if the weather is not permitting, turn on some music and get the family moving. Black people, we love to dance, so we're always going to have the music playing anyway. So get up and do something to get your body moving. If you are in an area where the weather permits, go for a walk after dinner, if it's safe to do so. Go out and do some physical activity. If you're at the mall, go and, you see people doing those laps in the mall and stuff like that. Don't always park as close as you possibly can. park a little further out, get your steps in. You know, when you go to the grocery store, park a little further out, get your steps in. If you're in California, we were just talking about how they like to bust your windows out here. So don't leave your presents in the car. Don't leave your groceries in the car. Don't leave any valuables in the car. But what I want to make sure that you are doing is that you're doing something to impart physical health for your family. So we got financial health. Get that will and trust together. Get all of the things that you need, life insurance, get all that stuff together. Mental health, reach out to somebody. And I'm going to take a detour on this one, because mental health is also a part of mentorship. And we see a lot of people coming up in this industry. And Josh, you know, I always make sure that I give you a shout out on this one, because you are creating this avenue for bartenders that are underrepresented, for Black and brown bartenders. And I want to say to some of the younger people that are coming up in the industry, don't just look to folks like the OG7 and people that are in, you know, positions that have been around for a while for a picture. Reach out to them when you're trying to learn how to navigate the industry, because one slip on a banana peel could change things very easily for you. And a lot of people have been through experiences that can save you from getting in a sticky situation. So make sure that you're protecting your mental health and wellness, but that you're also looking for mentors. Reach out to people and say, hey, this is what I'm trying to do in the industry. Can you help me? Can you give me some tips and tricks? Can you take a look at my social media to make sure it's tight? Can you take a look at my bio? Can you take a look at my resume? Take a look at what I'm doing. Do that with the avenues that we have here and the access that you have, because I got to tell you, there may be a time that you try to reach out to these folks and you got to talk to their agent. So while you have the opportunity to talk to them now, make sure that you're doing that. And then if you are someone that's in a position of power or position of influence, make sure that you're reaching back and helping other people get into those areas and positions as well. So financial health. Keep your credit tight. Make sure that you're not going broke for the holidays. Make sure that you're creating experiences and leverage for your family. Mental health, mentorship, and things like that. And then physical health, go for a walk, get moving, and stay active. And that's what I have.
That was dope. Right. You talking real fast, but it's all good. We ain't gonna get on you too bad today. But what I wanted to tell you was, I'm glad you brought up a couple of things. Experiences, definitely creating experiences. That's one big thing I do with my children, is I rather create experiences than spending money. But also what we do here, this has been an experience. You were actually the first guest to come on the very first Brown and Balance last season, and you've been holding down the virtual. You've been at a ton of Brown and Balance live events. And so I told you I had a surprise for you. And I'm about to see your face crack because you don't like surprises. But in that, Super Producer's going to throw something up on the screen that I did for all the wonderful ladies of Brown and Balanced. When we moved over to a virtual setting, I didn't know what to do. I'm used to being in front of people. I'm used to being in the crowd and having fun. But moving this over to a virtual setting, Kiara came through with the gardening, Better Homes and Gardenings. You came through with Real Freedom of Love. Sherry and Paris both tag teamed and came through with Somebody Come Get These Damn Kids, that I had to kind of change the title, but that's all right. Christina gave us some really dope workout, fitness, all those tips. Kisira with the graphics. I mean, you see it right behind me. Oh, right behind me. And Janae, early on and during Brown and Balance Virtual, Janae was one of the people that was taking care of our social media before we fortunately got Amanda on as well to do our social media. So shout out to both of those ladies. But to protect Black women and to celebrate Black women, the OG7 last this year doing the Black Women Magic of Brown and Balance t-shirt. This t-shirt is live. They're up on the site. Super Producer's going to throw the link in the comments. He's going to put it on the screen. And also, we lost one of our soldiers this week, Rolando Pettigrew, my dog from the Carolinas, unfortunately passed away this week. So everybody that orders one of these Black women shirts, most of the proceeds will go back toward him, his family, his son, to try to help out. They have a GoFundMe, as what you spoke about a few minutes ago, Mia. So we'll be donating back to that. So that's a surprise. I love all you ladies. One of the ladies on that shirt is coming up behind you to be our next guest, but I definitely wanted to put that out there and show you guys that, we appreciate you, and this is my way of giving back to all of y'all.
Wow. Well, I'm absolutely 100% honored to even appear on that shirt with those wonderful queens and just really appreciate you recognizing what we do. And we're happy to be here and support. So thank you. That was a good surprise because you're right. I don't like surprises.
I know. I know. I ain't gonna tell everybody how you was texting me, harassing me, talking about what was it. But we that's
You just
that's
told them.
well, no, but I'm not gonna tell them exactly what. I might go on IG later and tell them exactly what you said to me in the text messages and the memes and all that you sent me. We ain't gonna do that right now. You know what I mean?
Well, thank
But I
you.
just
I am
want
honored to.
really, yeah, I wanted to show you guys some love. I mean, Dame Dash said it. You know, I know he says a lot of things. It's controversial. And he might not be everybody's cup of tea, but he's somebody business wise I kind of listen to. And he said it: when you surround yourself with strong, powerful women, it makes you a better man. So all of you ladies have made Brown and Balance a much better experience. Y'all have carried me through episodes. When last year when I had COVID, episode 6 last year, y'all carried me through that episode as well. You popped in and started hosting. So I appreciate all of you all. My shirt's on the way to the house now, and then I'm definitely gonna get some more, you know what I mean, out there. And like I said, man, for my dog Rolando, who met him at camp about 6-7 years ago, you know, who tragically passed away this week. We definitely gonna send some of the proceeds from these shirts to his family.
Absolutely. And thank you for making it a V-neck.
I was waiting on you to say that because you
Absolutely.
V-necks, but that's going to go on Instagram later. You were asking me about V-necks. All right. But thank you, Mia. Before I get you out of here, let everybody know how to find you if they don't know, which you've been on this show 89 times, so they should know how to find you. But just in case they don't, let them know how to get to you.
Absolutely. So my Instagram handles are right there, Original Mia Love and Real Freedom with Love. You can find me on Twitter at the same handles. I'm pretty consistent across the board. So all the platforms, that's how you get to me. My website is realfreedomwithlove.com. And if you are looking for the free 7 days of meditation, go to realfreedommeditation.com.
Word. Well, there it is. That's our credit and healing segment with Miss Mia Love. Thank you. We only got one episode left in season 2, but then you'll be back for the recap show with me. So I will see you in about a month. All right, guys. So that was Mia Love popping in, man. Like I said, we want to show our love to all the first ladies of Brown and Balance Virtual who really, like I said, help make this platform better. They hold me down all the time in so many different ways. Friendship, just dope individuals to be around. And with that, we're gonna move on to one more person who is a dope individual who's on that shirt in our segment, Black Artists Matter. Y'all see this behind me, right? Y'all see a little picture of me behind me. She makes me look good every week. She makes all the dope graphics for everything Brown and Balance. We want to bring Miss Kisira Hill to the stage. What up?
What's up?
How you feel?
I'm doing all right. This sun's coming in, giving me some good lighting on my eyes. But yeah, I'm sitting at my desk. I'm working away. It's a little bit of a busy Friday, but that means I get to relax extra hard come the weekend.
I love that for you. I love that. So you are the brains behind all the graphics for Brown and Balance. I appreciate all of them. Like even when we decided to start working together, it was like, well, consider just do what you want. I don't care. Like I know you dope. But just like do whatever you want to do. Tell everybody about you, how you got into the arts, you know, like favorite things, you know, what you do exactly for anybody that doesn't know you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean it's dope to be integral in bringing this visual stuff to life. So, but I got into graphic design from a similar, scope of work from doing events and engaging in the hospitality industry. So putting on events and being a part of panels and talking about the industry that I worked in was exactly how I started doing this design and kind of brought that a little bit more forward in a way to sustain myself during the pandemic. So, right, while I wasn't producing events, wasn't working at bars, wasn't, designing menus or what have you, I shifted that to digital media work during the pandemic, and it's turned out lovely. I mean, mostly in part, I'd say a good fraction of it in part because you've given me such amazing creative freedom in showcasing the illustrations that I love to do. So
yeah, no, illustrations are crazy. Like I said, the one behind me, like that's when you sent me that, you sent me the one with me and my kids. And then most important, when the one of my pops you did for me, I appreciate that one more than anything. Like I'm getting that blown up like a movie poster, and we're gonna hang it here in the house. I'll make sure to take a picture and send it to you when
I
that
love
gets
that.
done. Like,
Yeah.
where do you draw your inspiration from? Like, I know we've talked a little bit. Like, I know it's a lot of like 70s art and like, you know, album covers and different things. Like, what are some other things like you draw your inspiration from?
Yeah, I think there's like an amazing resurgence of what you're saying, like that kind of 70s artwork right now, especially for a lot of like Black musicians. I think, we have a lot of funk artists, we have a lot of like rap kind of vibing artists that are doing a lot of this work with what they do for their visuals. And I think that the intersection of kind of Black music, the Black exploitation films that some of these artworks are influenced by, similarly enough to mine, I think are really coming to light in a way that it's, to have this visual representation. And I think um, taking some of these beautiful cues that the Black excellence in the 70s and the 80s and onward kind of brought to media overall is kind of where I bring my inspiration from. And I think similarly enough, right, that representation. So
Mhm.
being able to illustrate an amazing array of the guests that you've had on here too, all these beautiful brown folks living their lives, bartending. I mean, that's an inspiration in and of itself. Being a Black bartender myself, I feel like some of these mixed media outlets that put a lot of money towards visual representation, you don't see that same visual representation or that same money put forward to Black creators or even grants to fund Black creators. So I think that it's all an amalgamation of representation and ownership and geeking out on it a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Word, word. So like I know we on here we talk a lot about, you know, Black bartenders and some of the struggles we go through amongst ourselves and also in our industry. Like what's some things as a Black creator that you faced and maybe some tips and tricks of that young Black creator that's watching Kisira that or that sees the brown and brown and stuff is like, wow, I want to do that or I think I can do that. Like what's some tips and some things you had to overcome through your journey to get where you are now, and I'm sure to continue going up and up further and further up, you know, in the future.
Yeah, I think similar enough to the conversations that you've had about mentorship, I think looking at the connections that you have and the connections in the creative folks in your life, what are they doing? What are they popping off? Bartenders and industry folks all alike are multifaceted, multi-skilled folks. So more likely than not, if you're in our industry or you're somewhere adjacent, you have people in your life that are equally as creative as you might be, and you're looking for a different channel or a different outlet to kind of showcase that creativity. I think that looking at the connections that you have, looking at the friends that you have is the first place to start, because a homie could have a project that they, might not even realize that they feel overwhelmed about bringing onto social media or, creating a logo for or creating an event poster for something that they want to do. They might not even know that that is something that's holding them up, or that they just need, some visuals brought to their idea for them to really push forward with it. I think that if you're someone that's into art, or you're someone that wants to get into graphic design, or just take whatever craft, side hustle, other skill that you have outside of the industry and bring that forward, I think the first step is to just look at the folks around you and leverage the folks that have access to stuff, right? Like a lot of my first clients that really helped me get the foundation in the industry of people being like, oh yeah, Kisira does illustration. Like that's someone that I can reach out to. I think that those first couple clients that I had were pretty broad reaching. Like they were brands, they were, PDX Cocktail Week that had a lot of platforms where they were doing work. Brands that have budgets or want to do like digital media, virtual media kind of stuff. Those are the folks that I was able to get in connection with, or be like, hey, remember that one time that you sponsored this thing, or you stopped by the bar, or whatever. Looking at homies and not being afraid to reach out to folks that might even, you might not even have in your immediate circle, but are looking for more ways to support other creators. And then I think the last thing is to know the value of the stuff that you do. So I think that it's great to when you're starting off, just to get a little bit of exposure, and weigh the options between exposure and budget, or how much you're getting paid, or whether or not you're donating something. You can always do a free poster for a nonprofit and look at getting that right off in some ways don't know all the information. They're not a financial advisor, but you know, you got to weigh the exposure and the rate. But I would say that always advocate for a higher rate, or ask what the budget is and if they're flexible, because you might be spending more time than you expect at the beginning on something because you're still learning, and that you don't want to, you know, offset your quote unquote hourly rate when you thought it was going to be maybe 5 hours of work and it ended up being 6, 7, blah blah blah. Just generally advocating and knowing your worth, and if someone's bringing something to light, especially a brand or an event, those visual assets have a lot to do with the marketing and the success of something. So definitely know your worth there.
Word, word. I appreciate you speaking that know your worth and that exposure versus, you know, a rate, because I know for us a lot of times people are like, oh no, man, I just need to do something for the look. And it's like, no, my looks ain't free. You know what I mean? And also, as Fat Joe said, yesterday's price is not today's price as well. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely appreciate you putting that out there, and then also showing people, like, I understand the exposure aspect. And yes, when you're probably building and you're trying to grow, you can let a couple go here and there, but then once you start seeing people, it's just like anything else, right? If people see they can roll over you, they're gonna take advantage of you. They're gonna keep asking you just to do stuff for exposure, and now they're getting free labor on black backs, and you know that's just been how the world.
And people talk. People talk. So if you come to somebody with a lower than what your comfortable budget, the next person that they recommend you to is going to expect some kind of similar budget, especially if you know, people be talking about it.
Yeah.
So.
And you know, free labor on black backs ain't nothing new to the United States of America, but you know, we're not doing that anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Nope.
We're not rolling for that anymore.
Let the rate be known and fulfill that invoice. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. So now, like, I know me, right? So like when I got an event, or I'm working at the bar and I'm creating cocktails, I got like a little, like a vibe kind of checklist that I do to get into that mode, my creative mode, to do the cocktails. Right? I got a couple playlists. I throw them on. I get down. I start, you know, mixing it up and doing what I do until I get the product I want. What's the creative? How does the creative juices get flowing for you when you're working a project? Like, what are some things you do to kind of get you in that mode to get busy?
I am constantly listening to music. I'm constantly making playlists on Spotify. That, you know, depending on the situation, that's probably, if I turn on a playlist, I've got my headphones on, noise canceling, sitting down, is definitely the first place that I start. But on those days, you know, also being someone that's working from home, on those days where I'm just having a slow morning and, you know what I mean, I've got things to do, or maybe I've been procrastinating on something and I really need to get to it. I'm getting up, I'm having a nice cup of tea, I'm trying to make sure that I'm hydrated. You know, these are things that I keep in mind.
Hey.
Whether I am doing them on a regular basis, you know, but yeah, I'd say gotta have the tunes, gotta have some kind of caffeinated tea, a little warm, you know, it's getting cold out here. I've got my space heater set up right next to my desk.
Word.
Not playing any games. And I think also, you know, patience with it. So if I'm not feeling creative about something, I can just scroll on Pinterest, spend a little time, just sit on the couch, looking at other folks' art. And usually I'll get to a spot where I'll be like, damn, that illustration is so dope. I should bring something that I like about this illustration to this project that I need to do. And then I'm like, ooh, it's about time to do that project. All right, so you got it rolling. Let's keep it pushing. And yeah, sometimes if I procrastinate too much, I get a little anxiety. So I also know, you know, we don't want to step there. We know where it's headed if I don't do this sometime soon. So keeping a little mental tally of how I'm feeling and being patient with it, but also being like, all right, sis, if you wait too long, you might not be feeling so hot, and then you really won't want to sit down and do this work. So.
Word. I dig that. I mean, well, look, we appreciate all the work you do, especially me. Like I said, you've done professional stuff for me and personal, and like I appreciate all of it. But because I'm all about controversy, I'm gonna put you on the spot. Because I always ask the bartenders, and I always put them on the spot. But I'm gonna put you on the spot right now. I need your top 3 in no particular order. I ain't gonna do you like that. Your top 3 Brown and Balance graphics that you've done. What are your 3 favorite ones that you've done, and why?
Okay. I'm gonna pull them up because I've got so many. I need to literally open up this iPad and look at the cache
Yeah, I
of
have I got
illustrations.
a folder full of them. Like, it's crazy.
Okay, first and foremost, I gotta agree, doing the stuff that I did with your family, doing you and your children, and then especially your father, I think because it felt so special to me and such a privilege to do,
Like,
I'm gonna put those towards the top, right? You said no particular order, but gotta bring that up first and foremost because it was such a privilege to draw that.
thank you.
Um, are we
So
sticking to season two?
then you know what we're gonna do? Yeah, season 1, season 2, whatever. So now since
Okay.
you put them 2 at the spot, we still need 3 more. So we're gonna do a 5 piece then.
Okay, I'm gonna say because I've been seeing it so much leading up to this episode,
Man.
Lindsey's profile right here. This one was so fun, and I know she peeped her freckles on this,
Mm-hmm.
and I was up there. I love drawing afros. I love gradient hair. This color palette is really where it's at. So this is definitely one of the top ones here. And then there's a cocktail illustration from a little way back when. Ooh,
Yeah, that was a good
Aaron's
one.
cocktail illustration. This
That
one
was
was really fun. It was just bubbly, and doing the details on the Espolón tequila bottle was really fun because that's a fun bottle to draw. They've got a cool design there, and then his cocktail was dope. So definitely really fun there. And I love a little sparkle and twinkle. You know how I draw, so
word.
definitely some of my top there. Thank you
Word.
for putting me on the spot. On
I
the spot.
had
I'm
to,
glad I
you know
have
what I
this.
mean? Yeah, like, we got to show that art, man. You know what I mean? Like, black art is something that's really important to me. I try to find black artists that can, come into my home, bring that stuff in my home. I got a real good friend of mine who we have his exhibit going at the bar now. I definitely want to try to figure out getting some of your pieces in the bar as well. So we'll talk about that offline, man. So if anybody wants to get at you to figure out how to get some graphic, how to get into the game, some mentorship possibly from you, how can everybody find you?
Okay, so my Instagram handles are Gemini Rising and Creative Moments, both of which are also linked to my website, which is kisirahill.com. Really easy to find me there, but I've got all my creative works on the Creative Moments Instagram. My personal page is Gemini Rising. But yeah, you can reach out to me via DM. I've got my email and my website there on my Instagram linked, and that's me.
Word. So look, where we going to next? You took a nice little trip. You was all over the world during quarantine. You was moving around and doing your thing. Like, how
Yeah,
was that
somebody said work from home, and I was like, from an Airbnb, from where?
experience? How was that experience? And like, is that something that helped your creative juices or?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'll say this. The one part that I is an absolute privilege working from home and also plays into missing the bar a little bit, but like I have never been able to be so flexible with my schedule before. So that being able to travel and carry my work with me has been dope. Um, I don't know. I'm trying to get up out of Chicago when it starts getting really cold. So far, the next trip that I have is in February, and I'm going to Hawaii for a wedding. I'm very
Nice,
excited about that.
nice, nice, nice. That'll be a good time. In fact, because February in Chicago, the Hawk is out and is unforgiving. So yeah, being in Hawaii would be really dope. Maybe I could try to tag along or something.
You are welcome. Let's
And
do it.
come,
Let's go get some sun. We need to get this sun. I'm already
yeah,
starting to get low on the
yeah.
melanation.
Exactly, exactly. Well, Kisira, thank you for everything you do for us. So I wanted to make sure to include you in that Black Women Magic shirt that we did. I did
Thank
the other
you.
night. You know what I mean? Because I mean, the things you do for us are invaluable. I mean, there's no way I can thank you enough. Like I said, personally and professionally, for all the stuff you've done. So I appreciate you.
You're dope. I appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
Always, always. All
We'll
right,
talk
so
soon.
oh yeah, we will. That was Black Artist Matter. That was Kisira Hill, man. She's so dope. Like I said, all the amazing graphics that you guys see on Brown and Balance, the PDFs, everything. This was a gift. Maybe we'll run these back this year, but Kisira did a whole Brown and Balance book with all the illustrations from season 1. Everybody in there opened it right up. Boom, we got me and Sherry. You know what I mean? So she's just amazing, and it's always good to have a dope artist around you because their creative will rub off on you and it'll help your creative. And we'll all just, like me always says, send energy through each other. All right. So I didn't do it before the last segment. We're going to do it this time. Like I told y'all before, definitely follow our partners at Campari Community on Instagram. And then also hit that mailing list. I know somebody put in the comments. I can't see the comments on Facebook, but I know for sure Miss Brittany Lees Johnson, still really weird, calling her Johnson, but that's another story for another day. I know she put it in the comments somewhere, or the super producer did, or Amanda did, or somebody did. Shout out to the whole squad, the Lush Life team, man. Y'all, thank you all for everything you do behind the scenes for us to allow and make Round and Balance a hit. All right, so now look, we got a special guest, man. This is my dog, man. Like, so I was put like this. He's one of the OG7. We've had others on, but this is one I'm really, looking forward to. I met this brother. Funny, I met him online. I met him on Twitter. That's how we met. It was just following bartenders, following people in the industry way back when Twitter first came about. And we had the same last name. So it was like either we related somewhere down the line, or, he's somebody I just need to talk to. And a couple mutuals said, yo, you need to meet this guy. I think y'all would hit it off well. Met him at Tails one year in New Orleans. Got to chop it up and build, man. I feel like our friendship and brotherhood grew ever since. He created two of my favorite hashtags, the Davis Boys and it's Finish Strong Friday. So without further ado, I ain't going to overtalk it, man. I want to welcome my brother, Clyde Davis Jr. to the screen, man. What's up, homie?
Hey, what's happening, bro? Hey, man, it's good. It's always good to see you, man. I get excited every time we get to share space, together. And I'm glad to finally make it on the Round and Balance Live. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, it's long overdue to have you on, man. I'm really happy that we were able to have more episodes this year so we can incorporate more special guests.
Yes.
Everything. Like I said, I had a list, and all y'all that was on that shirt was on that list, man, to get on.
Good deal. I'm definitely glad to be here. Definitely, it's been when that shirt, I think it like premiered on like a Clubhouse or something when people were doing Clubhouses. And I was just like, I was blown away. I still, every time I see it, I get kind of like it kind of makes me feel, one, it makes me feel like, I hope I didn't just die. And two, it makes me feel old, but it's all good. But I appreciate it. And I just love what you're doing with this platform, showing people that we are definitely being represented in the spirits industry. So people who are somewhere in their town and they don't know any Black bartenders or Black mixologists or Black brand managers or Black spirit owners, they come here and get a little bit of inspiration, because I know that's what I needed back when I was young, and that's what you needed. That's why we got connected, because we have to help each other grow. You know what I'm saying? And it's much easier when you see people that look like you and sound like you and come from where you're from, to use that as a role model.
Absolutely, man. Well, for anybody that don't know you, man, let's tell the story. Like you said, we don't have those, generational bartender industry stories.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a lot of us, like I tell people all the time, bartender saved me. I was just kind of out here just floundering, and I found the industry and I found something I loved, and now we're here. So how did you get in the industry? What's your background? Just tell everybody how you got to where you are now.
Well, it's funny because I came kind of a non-traditional route for the spirits industry. I always call myself like the accidental entrepreneur. I was in business school at the University of Michigan, Go Blue. You know what I mean? So I always got to represent Michigan. I went to undergrad at Morehouse, but I went to business school at Michigan, and that's where my kind of spirits career began, because I started a company along with my good friends, including David Jones, who was a co-founder with me at Teen Spirits Imports. We founded, Teen Spirits Import as actually a school project. And all of a sudden it just kind of got good to us. And then, we raised money. We, by hook or crook, we made it happen. We got our first brand off there, which is behind me, I think. So this Castries Peanut Rum Cream was our first brand. It's first cream liqueur ever owned by, us, at least as far as what we know. And that became a big hit and opened a lot of doors for us, because at that time, cream liqueurs, there was only like Bailey's. You know what I mean? It was like Bailey's and some other Bailey's knockoff. So that kind of gave us entry into the, to the spirit world, because we had something different. And then, but the problem was that we weren't from the industry and we didn't look like anybody in the industry. And we just kind of, grinded it out, until, we became one of the number one independent rum importers in the world, with Chairman's Reserve Rum, which I think I have a bottle back there somewhere as well. You know what I mean? So we just kind of grew that, that space. And I always tell the story that when we first went to Tails, it was myself, my business partner, Charles Hardwick, Colin was there, and I can't remember who else. Asa was there. You know, Asa, he was there, and that was all the Black people, period. You know what I mean? So there was 4 of us. And so getting there and seeing that there were no Black faces, I made it a point to make sure that we represented you know what I mean, that we brought more people to Tails, including my brother, my good friend, Torrance Swain, who literally, I told him at the bar one day, I was like, listen, if this company doesn't send you to Tails of the Cocktail, you need to quit. You know what I mean? And he was like, yo. And then I went to Tails of Cocktail, met the right people. Now he's East Coast director for El Silencio Mezcal, a position that no one would ever see a Black person in 12 years ago. And so I'm just thankful for the opportunities that I've been able to help or maybe inspire some people to kind of get there and like literally, you know, try to be the person I want to be, but I needed when I was younger, because I needed mentorship and there was nobody to mentor me. You know what I mean? We did a lot of things wrong because we were just out there on our own, you know what I mean, with no help. So this opportunity to help people and do good things and do new things. And it's been exciting. And so for the last basically 20 years, we've been, you know, creating brands and helping brands and doing a lot of cool stuff. So, wow. And I get excited every time, you know, I see one of you guys, you know, doing anything really, you know what I mean? And to have a platform like this where we can come and talk about without having to code switch, you know what I mean? Like I have to be like to switch languages, to be able to be ourselves. And that's very important. Yeah.
That was one thing I remember, like, so that tells you're talking about, I met you the next one, because that was my first one. And I remember walking to the rooftop and I saw you and Charles and Colin and then like Emily and Carmen, everybody was there. And I was like, all these Black people, let me go over there and say what's up. And that's how we all started to build and grow. Yeah. And it was just like, all right, I could do this. You know what I mean? Like, I could do, because I didn't know y'all, but I was like, they feel like they somebody in this game. Yeah. Let me connect with them. You know what I mean?
And what I like about that group of people is that we all are always ourselves. Like there was never like, okay, let's talk different when Master's not around. You know what I mean? It was always like, listen, we're just as good as all these people around us. We're just as talented, and we're just going to bring our authentic selves to everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yep. And that's one thing you told me on my birthday a couple years ago, man. I'll never forget that. You was like, you and Dwayne was like, Josh, you're doing it, and you're doing it being yourself.
Yeah.
When we switch up, you stage you come to the bar, we're gonna eat Harold's, we're gonna hang out, we're gonna do
Listen, when I came to Chicago, you got Harold's, I got Harold's. When you came to DC, I got you the wings, the mumbo sauce. We're gonna be authentic, we're gonna be ourselves.
Absolutely.
You know, everywhere we go. So it's that part I love, because I personally haven't been in corporate America and had seen the way a lot of Black people were conduct themselves in a survival mode. So we're gonna pretend to like these things and act like we do these things and go to these, you know what I mean, to kind of assimilate ourselves. And for me, as an entrepreneur and as somebody who desires to be free, I don't feel that pressure. And if I'm able to show success doing that, then my brothers and sisters who see me, they feel comfortable being themselves. Yep. Because I had a hard time as a young professional because I couldn't see myself being some of the Black professionals that I had seen in higher positions. You know what I mean? Because they were just different than me. At least so what they showed me was different. You know what I mean? Whereas they may have been totally different. They may have just not have switched codes when I was around, but I wanted to be in a place where I'd never had to code switch. You know what I mean? This is the language I use. This is the words I use because I'm capable. I'm smart. I know all the, I know the math. I know the numbers. I know all the sayings. We can talk, from the boardroom to the bar to the liquor store. Right. I can communicate with everybody. Exactly. And I don't have to change the way I talk or how I sound to kind of, appease or make them comfortable. They're already comfortable. You know what I mean? So there's no need to make them work. The world is theirs for the most part. Right. You know what I mean? I don't have to lay down for them too. You know what I mean? So
we definitely found that out earlier today. It's definitely
listen, when I heard that verdict, I was like, this is the wrong day to have me on here. Because it just goes to my point of us having to be our authentic selves, because they will reveal themselves every time. So there's no need for us to sit here and act and contemplate and try to emulate them, because who are they to emulate? Exactly. You know what I mean? They're not holding themselves accountable in times where they should be held accountable. So who are they to emulate? You know what I mean? Because, and that's the issue. And it causes a lot of Black men, especially this being mental health month, Black men mental health month, it causes a lot of Black men anxiety. You know what I mean? I'm wearing a shirt that my son's friend created called Attack Anxiety, because a lot of us deal with anxiety, and a lot of that comes from the pressure of whiteness and white non-accountability, that you can go somewhere and a white man can come in with a gun and threaten you and can get off and say it's self-defense.
Yep.
Even though he escalated it. Yeah. And so that having Black sons creates a lot of anxiety in our society. Yeah. And we have Black men my age who are told, go to the right college, go get the right job, and you'll be rewarded with this riches and everything else. And when they don't receive it and they're getting promoted over by people without their credentials, and then they're told it's their fault, that creates a lot of anxiety. Black men, anxiety and depression and the suicide rate is all going up, because what we're realizing is that what they were selling us was whiteness. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's something that Black men can't achieve. You know what I mean? So you have to find what makes you happy, what makes your family free, and do that, and do it in your way. And that's the kind of way my position is right now.
Word. So all y'all on Facebook that's listening, this is why this is my OG right here. I ain't have to ask him no questions. He done answered everything I wanted to ask him, because you got to have brothers in your circle like Clyde, like Jackie, like Charles, like Colin, like all these brothers that have helped. Like all of us, man, owe a debt to you. You know what I mean? For paving the way, for doing what you do to allow me to be able to do this, man, because y'all crossed so I could walk, and then I got to take it to the next person so they can run. You know what I mean? So yeah. I appreciate you more than you know, dog. Like I appreciate you so.
Hey, listen, I love the fact that for me, that we always can keep it real with each other. You know what I mean? In the last year, both of us lost our dads, and we know, that kind of impact that has on us. And it also has given me the insight to know that we have to do all we can with our lives. And I think that our fathers demonstrated that. They did all they can with their lives, and they left their tank on E. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I mean? For themselves and for us. And we got to continue that legacy. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Especially us Davis boys. That's how we have to do it.
You already know, man. We both got two more coming behind us.
Yeah.
Same thing, man. Before we get you out of here, man, let's talk some Equiano, man. Let's talk about it. I had Ian on earlier.
Oh, nice.
A lot of backstory.
Okay.
Are we available everywhere? Can everybody go get it? What's some of the background on the brand?
It is available right here, right now, for sure. But because that's what I'm sipping on today. But Equiano is actually it's available online at equianorum.com. You can do it direct from us. We're in liquor stores right now in Florida, in Georgia, DC, Maryland, Delaware, and in Illinois. We're launching both California, actually literally right now, and we're expanding Illinois and Florida as we speak. Next year, we're going to, and we're in Massachusetts as well. Next year, we're going to expand to the rest of the Mid-Atlantic, including Virginia, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. And then also, we hope to be in Nevada, Arizona as well. So we're just going to continue to grow. Hopefully by 2023, Equiano will be national in the U.S. It's been a great journey. Equiano is a Black-owned rum company. It's the world's first African and Caribbean rum. If you miss Ian's talk about it, I'm gonna talk about it for a second. It's the first African and Caribbean rum. Starts in Mauritius, that's Gray's Distillery, where we take a rum that's aged 10 years in cognac barrels, transport that liquid to Barbados, blended rum that's been aged 8 years in bourbon barrels from Foursquare with the rum master Richard Seal, and you got this beautiful product. I was able to show it in Chicago a couple weeks ago, and we just had a good time. And Equiano is about spreading the message of Oda Equiano, who was a Black man who was enslaved and kidnapped and enslaved, and actually bought his freedom through selling rum, and became kind of the cornerstone for the anti-slavery movement in Europe. His book, The Interesting Narrative of Oda Equiano, was the first published written account of the human experience as a slave. So every other narrative really looks back at Equiano as kind of the blueprint for that. So whereas Harriet Beecher Stowe, whether it's Frederick Douglass, even the works of Maya Angelou are all inspired by Oda Equiano. And 5% of all of our profits go to Anti-Slavery International, which is the world's oldest human rights organization. So we're not only talking about it, we're being about it, and the rum is delicious. So it makes it easy. It makes it easy.
It is, man. I'm over here on E, man. My boy Jerry, you met him. He over here, man. We've been sipping on Equiano since you sent me that bottle last year, man. So
yeah. So hey, man. So if you just finished it, that means you were drinking it way too slow. We got to make sure these next bottles get cranked out.
Hey, man, I was trying to hold on to it. I had to hide it with cats that don't understand how good it was. Come on.
So now that we're available in Chicago at Benny's, you can always go and re-up. So we're all good now. You know what I mean? So drink as fast and share as much as you can.
Say less. So basically, y'all that's watching and listening, what Kyle said is, I said Clyde. I said Kyle. Wow. Clyde said was, get y'all ass to the store and go buy y'all some Equiano.
Yes.
I know we ain't supposed to curse. I broke my 2-year streak, man. Get y'all ass some Equiano, man, ASAP.
Hey, man, listen, I appreciate it. The brand appreciates it. And what I loved about this, when Ian called me to recruit me for this brand, he didn't ask me to do anything that would not be me. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so this brand speaks to me. Oda Equiano and Equiano brand really celebrates the African diaspora, which is what we're a part of. You know what I mean? Africa, Caribbean, US. This is part of who I am. Yeah. Equiano spent time in Barbados. My great grandfather is from Barbados. He came to Virginia on his way to New York, met a young woman, and then stayed in Virginia. So I don't know what that means, but you know, you could get the inference.
Right.
So we're connected from that way because it is a brand that represents a lot of Black people who have ancestry, of course, in Africa, but also in the Caribbean, that we need to celebrate and we need to actually, you know, tell our children about, because we're at a point in where they're erasing history in order to create narratives. And we have to tell our kids our history so they know that the narrative that's sometimes being fed to them is not 100% correct.
Yeah. I just posted that the other day, and I was talking to my young son. I said, imagine, you know, a certain people or race, they have a history that's so bad that they don't even want to teach it to nobody.
Yeah, they don't. This is like what I'll say. This last thing about Rittenhouse and all these things is that our country has a very hard time holding white men accountable. You know what I mean? If you look at, you know, Robert E. Lee and some of these traitors to our country, they allow those people to be honored and memorialized, even though they were traitors to our country.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So when you have, and now they're trying to take away things from the history books because they don't want us to know about the genocide, the raping, the human trafficking of these people. So if we're not even holding dead people accountable, you know what I mean? People who are gone, dead for 200 years. We're not even holding them accountable. How do I expect them to hold a white man in 2021 who goes to a place with a weapon of war,
yep,
kills 2 people, and can get off? You know what I mean? I'm not surprised by it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
17. He wasn't even supposed to carry a 17, bro.
Yeah, I mean, and I mean, again, and it comes with this audacity to believe that you should be able to control the environment, that you can go somewhere else and police people when you're not police, or you can run up on somebody who's running in a neighborhood and shoot him after you approached him.
Yep.
You know what I mean? The idea, you know, when we talk about the quote unquote Karens, and it's the same sickness of thinking that you can control Black bodies. And that's the narrative, that this is my body. I have full agency of my body. I go where I want, when I want, what I want. And that's even part of the even the Equiano brand is about creating and controlling your agency. And that's what Equiano did. And that's what we're trying to do. But we just have to be very clear that our country, has a very hard time holding white men accountable. And until white people hold white people accountable, they're going to be in the same situation. And I was telling somebody what's crazy is that Travis Scott is going to be testifying before about his concert than Trump did about January 6th.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's insane to me. Like,
it's like, you know what I mean? It's as if that morality and accountability only applies to the American Negro. And I just not ain't with that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Man, bro, look, we could do this all day. So I definitely got to have you back on again.
Oh, yeah, anytime.
For real, because I want to get to Lindsey, but I definitely want to make sure I gave you all the time as somebody, like I said, personally and professionally, somebody I look to. Just the most about drinks we never talked. You know what I mean? Because we talk real, and I appreciate that about you. Let the people know, for a brother like me that wants to reach out to somebody like you, like I did, how to find you on the internet.
Me, it's my government everywhere. Clyde Davis Jr. It's Clyde Davis Jr. If you want to email me, Clyde Davis Jr. at Gmail. If you want to cash at me, Clyde Davis Jr. Whatever you want to do, it's Clyde Davis Jr. You know what I mean? I think I'm the person when any type of social media comes out, I just grab it. I think I even have like an OnlyFans page. You know what I mean? Just so nobody else has OnlyFans / Clyde Davis Jr.
Hey, so, let's get it, man. Look, I might not subscribe to OnlyFans.
There's nothing on there. I'm just giving you.
All right, I'm just saying, I love you, bro, but I'll subscribe, but I ain't looking at nothing on your OnlyFans, dog. You know what I'm saying? But no, hey, from a little brother to a big brother, man, I appreciate you.
Oh, no worries, man. Thank you.
Always done, man. Always kept it real with me. Somebody I could definitely reach out to anytime, man. So blessings, man, to you, to the boys, everything, man. Thank you.
All right, man. Hey, man, love you, bro.
Love you back, man. Appreciate you, man.
Peace.
All right, y'all. So that was Clyde, man. Look, I ain't had to ask him nothing. He answered all my questions without me saying anything, man. Reach out. That's all I'm gonna tell y'all, man. He got a lot of us out here that came up that watch him, to watch how he moves, and we emulate those moves, man. He's kind of like the Jordan for a lot of us, man, in this game. So we're gonna get to our featured bartender, because let me tell you something. This young lady, I ain't never met nobody that be this excited about the industry in a long time. She actually reignites fire in a lot of us. I know that for a fact. She talks it, walks it. Everything is cocktails. Everything is black. Everything is empowerment to women. I love her to death. She stalked me on my birthday a couple years ago, but we got her on Brown and Balance Live. Before her and Aaron Sparks, the only thing I knew about Cleveland was Bone Thugs and Harmony. So without further ado, let's bring Miss Lindsey Stanard up to the screen.
Oh my God! Don't tell people I stalked you.
You did a little bit, just a little bit. I was like, let me check out her profile, make sure she all good before I answer this DM, because I ain't on that. I ain't trying to, But no, how are you?
I was good until right before I logged on here and I saw that verdict. Then everything.
We ain't gonna worry about that punk, man. Life is gonna deal with him. You know what I'm saying? Like that's something I'm trying to. This new positive. Like, remember when Martin Lawrence and Bad Boy 2 were trying to be more positive? You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to do right now. So life's gonna deal with Shorty, man. But we know what it is, and Clyde just broke it down perfectly to what it is.
You put me out to Clyde. I don't even know if I can say anything else other than talk about our cocktail.
Man, OG, triple OG, man. But that's why he's who he is. That's why I hold him in that regard. But looking at you, I see a young Lynn House, a young Frankie Marshall coming, because you have that hunger, and you have that drive, and you want to be the best, and you want to bring everybody else up with you. So in doing that, tell everybody who don't know, because if they follow you, you know everything about this young lady if you follow her. I'm gonna say that right now. If you're lucky enough to be in her close friends on Instagram, you really know everything about her. But anybody that don't, by all means, please tell them who you are, where you're located, how you got in the game, and was how you got here.
All right, y'all. I'm Lindsey, obviously. I'm from Cleveland. I've been bartending. It'll be 4 years in a couple months here. I saw an ad for a bar back, and somebody was like, you should probably just try to get into the bars. Like, I think you would really like it. Because I was kind of like you. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know which way I wanted to go. So I was just like, all right, whatever. I walk into Society Lounge. Shout out to Joey. So hopefully he's watching. I walked in there. I'm like, oh my, I can't do this. I can't do that. The setup, like it, especially like being like a speakeasy type of bar, that's not the first type of spot you want to go into. But I just fell in love with it. I don't know what exactly I fell in love with about this industry. I'm still trying to figure it out. But I love what I do. I love meeting new people. I'm getting to a point now where people are telling me I'm inspiring and aspiring them. So I love that. And I finally found a field where I could just be myself for the most part. For the most part.
Yes, I love you, but you was a ball of energy. You know what I mean? So, but we love that about you, and that's what makes you, like Clyde said, authentically yourself, and you're always yourself. And I appreciate it. You giving me plenty of laughs over the last year and a half, 2 years of knowing you. You know what I mean? over the internet, different things like that. But being from Cleveland's a small market. Cleveland's a control state. It's just you and Aaron Sparks out there in Ohio. You know, now that upon meeting you, I've met more people from Ohio, but that was the only 2 people I knew in your state that really did cocktails that were Black, that were really about empowering and moving. What's some challenges you had, and what's some things you've done to overcome them? Because like I said, you only been in the game almost 4 years, so you still kind of a rookie, but you're not. You know what I mean? You carry yourself as a vet. And so what are some things that you faced being in such a small market city?
Well, I think too, where I got my start, I'm kind of not your average rookie. I've seen a lot in this past 4 years, a lot more than the average bartender or mixologist would have seen. But the biggest thing, like you brought up Aaron, for example, if people can keep us apart, they'll keep us apart. I think they're really afraid of that greatness that 2 Black people can display in this industry. It's very segregated, not just in this industry, but in Cleveland. And it just trickles into this industry. So they kind of fear us. I even had a former coworker come to me, white guy. He said he went into a Black bar and he just felt really uncomfortable and really afraid. But he didn't know why. He was like, I had to kind of check myself because everyone greeted me accordingly. You know, everybody was friendly. I got service. That was me. That was me making myself feel that way. And a lot of people in this industry, specifically in this city, they know that. We're not doing anything to you. You're either envious of us or you're threatened by us. But those 2 things lead how you treat us and lead the opportunities that you give us or don't give us. I think with me in particular, especially having a name like Lindsey Stanard, they see that on the resume, then you think you hiring a white girl. Then I come in, I got my fro up today and I probably should have wore it out. It makes more of a statement. But then I come in, I got my fro out. Now I'm wearing my normalized Black bartender shirt every time I walk into a bar. I'm not anything that they expect. And, you know, they will praise me over the phone and, I can't wait to meet you. I really want you to start in a couple days. And then I come in, it's like, oh, you're Lindsey? Like that bar now raises. I could see that bar raise as I hear it in their voice, like that shock that I'm Black. That's really what it is. And for a while, up until I met you and a couple other people, I felt like I wasn't enough. And I knew I was, because Joey told me I could work at Society. When I leave there, I could work anywhere. And the way my phone rings, that's true. But once I get in their face, now everything changes. It's like, oh, you could work at anywhere you want to if you're white. It's hard.
Interesting. I mean, I didn't know a lot about Cleveland, like I said, until I met Aaron. And I've been to Cleveland and Akron and Columbus and all that a few times. And like I said, Nigel was from Columbus as well. That was
Nigel is still from Ohio. I don't care how.
No, we got him now. No, we got him. Shout out to Nigel Van, man. Just won Power of the Palette competition, man. Shout out to that brother, man. A Brown and Balance alumni who is from Ohio, but he's in Chicago now. But with Nigel, right? So Nigel just won that. You just had a really dope experience. You were in the Chocolate City's Best competition. Describe everybody your experience. Like what has that done to
time of my life?
Help further fuel the fire in you to continue to compete and to continue to step your cocktail game up?
Shout out to Capri D and Mike, first of all. Just that opportunity. I didn't know what to expect, but I just knew DC and Black excellence. That's all I knew. When I saw that I was going, I'm like, I'm gonna see some stuff that I need to see. Like, but I didn't think it was gonna be on that scale. Everybody that they introduced us to was Black. The bar owner was Black. The bar manager was Black. You know, Clyde. The way I met Clyde, he was sitting there at the competition, and I got hungry. We was prepping, but I got hungry. It was a Wendy's across the street. Me and Lo ran across the street to Wendy's. I come back upstairs and Clyde Davidson sitting right there. I'm like, oh my God. I wear this man on the back of my shirt. And it's Clyde Davidson. Like, it was just, I can't even talk about it. It was so much that I just did not expect to get, but I learned so much. It even exposed me to people in my city. You know, I met an amazing bartender through my experience while I was down in DC, Lauren Haywood. She reached out to me and I was like, oh my God, I really can inspire people and I can motivate people and I can probably be what Josh and Clyde are to me, to other people. So I started working with her and, you know, I got in contact with another bartender. There's another bartender and another bartender. And I learned more about my city being in DC. So that experience just did, even though I didn't win, I felt like I won because you can't take that away from me. That experience that I got.
Well, as the great philosopher Sean Corey Carter, aka Jay-Z, says, every loss ain't a loss, it's a lesson, right?
Right.
I've lost way more cocktail competitions I've ever won, and I gained something from every L. You know what I mean? All I gained from the W's was notoriety, and I don't really care about that. I would rather learn something that I can apply. I mean, don't get me wrong, the notoriety is nice. You know, it's cool.
Right.
The losses meant more to me than the wins because I took something from the losses to get to the wins. You know what I mean?
Right.
So please, always, whether you won or not in the judges' eyes or the grand prize, whatever, you still won because look what you're doing. You know, when we met, you were like, man, I don't know nobody in my city, nobody in my area. Right. And now look at you. You guys are hosting events together. You guys are collaborating. And that's what the spirit of what Brown and Boundless, and I'm very sure I can speak that Chocolate City's best and everybody else is out here moving. That's what we want. More of us to collaborate and work together and build up the entire, you know, community as a whole. You know what I mean? So speaking of cocktails and cocktail competitions, you had a really dope drink this month that I remember telling you like last year on your Instagram, that should be your drink when I have So I know my super producer is gonna pop your drink up on the screen. Let's talk about it. What's your inspiration? First of all, 10-year Russell Reserve is one of my favorite bourbons in the world. So what was your inspiration behind this? And let's talk it through.
So originally you brought up how you told me a year ago I should do this. I was playing around with shrubs quite a bit. And I was working at a bar and there was a blackberry ginger shrub and nobody was buying it. Like nobody, it was supposed to just be an NA cocktail. Nobody was buying it. And then I just played around and made a Campari cocktail with it. And once I actually got this opportunity and Brittany was like, okay, you're going to use Russell's Reserve. To be honest, I hadn't tasted it for a while. It's probably been about 3-4 years. So I was like, okay, I really have to learn this. And I kind of learned the spirit while I was learning bourbon, while I was going through my American whiskey certification, because I could taste it and I couldn't figure out like what exactly I was tasting. But after I went through the sensory and tasting training, I was like, okay, I'm kind of picking up like this leather note. And I think that's why it's almost intimidating to me before, like when I was drinking it. It's not my preference because that's not really my flavor profile. So let me try to not necessarily mask that because I want people to still know that it's there, but kind of just play off of it a little bit and spice it up. So that's what that apricot ginger shrub did. I had just been waiting to play with apricots for a while, and it actually paired. I made a whiskey sour first, just a regular whiskey sour with some muddled apricots in there, just to see how the apricot flavor went with the Russell's Reserve. And then I just slowly started adding in more stuff, and here we are.
Word. Nah, that's dope. I liked it. I mean, I loved how it looked. It just was a really sexy drink, and I was like, it kind of reading the specs of it encompasses your personality a little bit. like it's gonna really jump out there and really you're gonna see it and you're gonna feel it and you're gonna, you know what I mean, you're gonna enjoy it all at the same time. So thank you for that. We definitely make sure that gets plenty of love. I might make one over the weekend since I'll be home Sunday just watching football and not doing nothing else for a change.
It's still good with the ride too. I want to put that if anybody's gonna make it.
Oh, it's good with the ride as well.
Do the same portions, but do the ride. It's all about the preference. You know, I'm Cleveland bourbon girl, so
Absolutely. So what's next for you? I know you speak a lot about mentorship and thank you for all the compliments for myself. I'm gonna thank you for Clyde too. I'm sure he'll thank you when he comes back on the screen. Like, what's next for you? Where you see your trajectory going career wise?
Right now I'm setting things up to start doing some mixology one-on-one courses. I've kind of just been moving slowly with that because we're entering the winter and the pandemic is not over just because we over it. So I don't know. I don't want to, invest all this time into setting up a space to do this and then we shut down again. So I'm kind of like, do I need to do virtual and in person, just virtual or in person? So I've just been taking some time off. I do have my 2 beautiful kids and it's coming up for the holidays. So I don't want to put too much effort into work, but that's my first goal, the Mixology 101, because my overall goal with Cleveland is to expose Black and brown bartenders to educational opportunities for this industry. I worked under an amazing brown beverage director. Shout out to Naisha. That girl knows a lot, but for her, like one thing she was like, I don't really know X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, oh girl, I could teach you that. Like that's something so easy. And we could utilize each other. And that's kind of what we did when we worked with each other. And I want to do that with more Black and brown people. I'm not trying to have anybody work for me. I'm not even necessarily trying to have anybody work with me. If anything, I'm trying to work for y'all. I'm trying to educate you, increase your opportunities. And if you do have some knowledge or something that I could benefit from, it don't have to be money. Just drop that gem for me. That's all I'm asking for. It's just that simple. That relationship, that mutual relationship, that I think that's something that Cleveland really needs.
Word. Well, look, you let us know, like I said, Chicago's 5 hours away. You let us know what we can do. I'm very sure we can get a squad of folks from up here to come out there and then rock with y'all and, you know what I mean? And we can all collaborate and have some fun as well. So I appreciate you. Thank you. I appreciate you coming on. Your energy, like I said, is infectious. You got us all on our game because if you don't, you'll definitely tell us we're not. So
I need y'all on y'all game so I can be on my game.
But no,
you really don't like taking compliments, Josh, but you said that, Clyde and the OG7, they had to crawl so you could walk, so you could pass it to people to run. I'm telling you, you've already passed it. I'm already feeling my sprinting and my running coming. We're at the point of me slowly passing it on to other people. That time has come for you. Like, I appreciate you more than I could ever say. I know I say it a lot, but I can't even articulate it, right?
Thank you. No, I really appreciate that. I mean, I really don't like compliments. You know why. We've already talked. Bia probably cussed me out behind the scenes about it as well, because I don't like taking a lot of credit for things. I feel like this is what I'm supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't never want credit for doing what I'm supposed to do. When I do something extra, give me the credit then. But I'm supposed to pass on the knowledge that I got, you know what I mean, from someone else to the next crop, so we can keep this thing going and we can keep building. And if one of us is better, we all are better. If one of us wins, we all win. That's what I can see, and that's something that Clyde told me. You know what I mean? Them seeing me do what I do.
I all do well. That's Jackie. That's my line. My favorite line from Jackie Summers. When we do well, I do well.
We all do. Fair. So I see you doing your thing is dope to me, and that's thanks enough. I don't, I appreciate the sentiments. There's always thanks enough just seeing y'all thriving and shining and competitions and winning. And I just Janae did a class. I just see everybody moving around. And I know 10 years ago, we never saw this.
Right.
You know what I mean? 12, 15 years ago when I first got in the game, like I said, class, it was 4. It was 5 when I showed up. You know what I'm saying? And that was it. So I appreciate you continuing to move around. So tell everybody how to find you, how to follow you, how to get in touch with you. I mean, on the internet, off the internet, what do say if you fan Clyde, I might have to start me one in a minute. You never know. But let everybody know how to get at you.
I ain't going for the OnlyFans. But okay, listen, y'all. So Cleveland Bourbon Girl, that's my personal page. If you want to laugh, because I am funny, if you couldn't tell. Cleveland Bourbon Girl's a personal page. Lynn Fusions is my business page that I am slowly, over the next couple of weeks, you'll start to see more things. I'm about to put my holiday kits on there. Over the past couple of days, I've been perfecting my hot chocolate mix with a homemade peppermint bark and some fun stuff for the holidays. So look, Lynn Fusions, look for stuff like that. If you want to just get to know me and have some fun with me, Cleveland Bourbon Girl. And you got audition to be in my close friends.
You ain't man. I can't even tell a story about how we actually started talking. I can't tell it because what story you put up that caused me to laugh, and then we started a conversation on that.
Oh, no.
Well, this girl's crazy as hell, like I am. Okay. So,
we're not going to go there because Brittany going to be calling me and yelling at me if I say any of that stuff.
If we tell that story, I'm going to lose all sponsorship. So we're not going to. I like my little Campari stuff coming in the mail. You feel me? But no, thank you for being our featured bartender. If everybody's still in the green room kicking it, we bring everybody back up to come and hang out with us.
Hey, Josh. Yo, I just thought of something. I literally just thought of something. When you were saying, like me and you are the same, we came from a place where we don't want to get, compliments or what we think we're supposed to do. Yeah. But I'm in my mind now thinking that's a hangover from coming from an enslaved person, right? Mm-hmm. Because we were told that we shouldn't do things because we weren't getting compensated. You know what I mean? This is what you're supposed to, this is what your life is supposed to be. These are things that you're supposed to do. So we have been doing a poor job of literally telling our stories and bigging up ourselves because we are stuck in this mindset that we're supposed to do things without reward. No, we've done these things. You've done these things. And when people thank us, we should be like super excited about it because that's also a form of compensation. You know what I mean? We've been denied even the simple right of being able to accept a compliment because our bodies had not been controlled by ourselves. And so now, from now on, when somebody says thank me or whatever, I'm gonna own it. I'm gonna love it. Yes, yeah, thank me. Yeah, I'm on your shirt. That's what's up. That's what's up. You should be rocking me. I did it. You know what I mean? We were doing this. And I remember meeting Lindsey and she saying it to me and me not even be able to like absorb it because I'm so afraid of being able to absorb the energy of acceptance of doing something or being somebody. Yeah. Because for my whole life, we've been told that we are in public view have not been viewed as people. You know what I mean? Even in our ancestry. So let's create that narrative. Now when people thank you and thank me, we can be like, I appreciate it because that shit was hard. And I'm glad you recognize it. You know what I mean? So let's accept these flowers when it happens, because again, one of the biggest things I see people is that some of my white counterparts, what they've been able to do is to big up themselves. And even when they fail forward because they talk about the lesson they learned. You know what I mean? That was a great experience, yada, yada, yada. Even though they fucked up, they messed up. You know what I mean? Like, no, we need to be able to accept that people like Lindsey and people think that they look up to us and accept that. And because we want them to have the pride in the stuff they do as well. You know what I mean? That it's not thanks. That we're accepting. I accept thanks. I accept checks. I accept cash and credit. You know what I mean?
You gonna sign my hoodie now? You gonna sign my hooddy now? Now that
I can sign your hoodie now. No. You know what I'm saying? I'll definitely sign it now. And my mind was like, why? I'm not like literally the competition was in my hood. So I walked up there. Right. No, it wasn't like I was in there like fancy. I was wearing like some sweats and a shirt and like, okay, let's drink some cocktails. But that's
time is your most valuable asset, and you're giving your time to the industry, and you're giving your time to bring people up, and allow them to learn from your experiences. You candidly share what you went through to get to where you are. So when somebody like Lindsey comes in and she's enamored by the fact that she has your name on her shirt, that's something that she reverences. And like you said, accept your flowers because, I always talk about, the universe and crystals and things like that, but you program your experiences. You tell God and the universe what you expect from life. You expect people to appreciate you. You expect checks. You expect all the other stuff, because we're going to get the BS. We just saw it come on Apple News. That's coming for us regardless. So when people have the opportunity to tell you that they appreciate you, accept that, because you know that also allows them to do something. Like when people say, I don't want to party, I don't want this, I don't want that, you're robbing people of the experience to be able to appreciate you and let you know how they feel about you.
I think we need to reprogram ourselves, right? We need to be actively reprogramming ourselves, because the world reflects what we program. So when somebody like Kyle Rittenhouse goes on TV and goes, I didn't know I could do that. You know what I'm saying? The world reflects the fact that he literally said that, even though we see something different because of our programming, because of the programming that we have in our country, whether it be, white supremacy or all the other things that we are programmed within our country, that we accept certain things, even though we know factually that's just not true. You know what I mean? So we have to, at every opportunity that we have to thank ourselves, to big ourselves up, we have to make sure we push that, because that helps the universe derive what comes to us. You know what I mean? The people in the United States, the universe wanted Kyle Rittenhouse to get off. You know what I mean? Because they all agree, enough people said this is self-defense, because this is in the defense of white supremacy. You know what I mean? And because there's enough people in this country who believe that vibe, that works. Until we have enough people who don't believe that, then that power will still have, that thought still has power.
Exactly. Like Snoop Dogg said, I'd like to thank me for being me.
Yeah. That was powerful. We should, Snoop is an expert on lots of things. I don't want to use him as a motivational speaker, but he was right on it.
I love it, man. Hey, so normally at the end of the show, I bring everybody up and like, any last words? Y'all have killed it. We up out of here. Like that was the word for the day. So I'm gonna work on that. I appreciate Big Bro and Mia definitely saying that to me. We'll definitely work on that. Like I said, like Snoop said, I want to thank myself.
Yeah, thank yourself.
I'm gonna start thanking myself a little more often, man. I appreciate y'all. We're gonna get out of here. I gotta go open the bar tonight. Everybody else gotta get moving. Thank y'all for the show. This has been an amazing show. It wouldn't have been great without all of y'all being on here. I appreciate everybody on the show. Make sure y'all pop in the Instagram. Those shirts will be live along with a new OG Brown and Balance hoodie for the winter's hoodie season. Fellas, protect your hoodies. Don't let the women steal your hoodies.
No, I have a response to that, Josh. What you do is you let women buy your hoodies. So then they only steal from each other.
There it is. That's wise words from Clyde. Hey, hashtag wise words from Clyde. There it is. Well, it'll be live. It's live on the site. If you guys got the link, it'll be live on Instagram. And tag all the ladies, so let y'all know how much we appreciate you. Mia and Kisira, y'all both on here. Thank y'all. Lindsey, you definitely gonna end up on the shirt one day. I can see that. I see you being the young G that's gonna be an OG one day.
And I'm gonna sign it right away, Clyde.
Hey, listen, next time I'm start carrying Sharpies on me. Just be like, yo, you a autograph? Bye.
Right.
I had a Sharpie in the bag with I was really about to run down them stairs.
now me and Clyde gonna be like Chad and T.O. of the bartender industry, man, walk around with Sharpies and signs and stuff.
I'm gonna start. Hey, listen, next t-shirt gotta be an NFT. That's what we gotta talk about next, Mia. So next year,
hey, we're gonna talk about that offline. I got some ideas on that, man, for real. All right. So with that being said, y'all, thank y'all for tuning in, man. That was episode 11. We got one more episode and then the recap show, man. So I'll see y'all next time. Peace.